Everyone seems to think that this affordability issue that we're running into is new. Well, I'm going to tell you, this is mimicking the great financial crisis to a T. I've seen this before. And in 2007, we had an affordability issues just like we have now. Homes were overpriced and people couldn't afford them. That was the end of the market. It takes a while to happen, but this is unfolding just like the great financial crisis, only it's going to be on steroids. This is much, much worse. We have a huge, enormous bubble. And I think that we have probably no more than about 6 months before the entire real estate industry collapses. Now, it's already started in the commercial. We've seen that. You know that it's happening in commercial. As soon as the loan has to be recast, well, of course, it then becomes invalid. I mean, it's no longer viable, and the properties go back to the lender. This is happening everywhere in the commercial. You know, they're not like the residential where you have a 30-year mortgage. They're only like 5. Maybe you're really lucky you get a 10, but most of them are 5 to 7, and they go from like 3 or 4 to 6, 7, 8, and they're in trouble. That's happening. We've seen this time and time and time again. This isn't something new. Why do you think Warren Buffett, as old as he is going to cash? You should be. I am. We've gone to cash. We're on a moratorium. And I'm telling you, my work says we've got less than 6 months and prices are going to radically change. Now, let me go to my first slide and let's take a look at it. But this is a jeopardy position, pure and simple. This is when you make the wrong decision and you pay for it for 10 or 15 years. Some people never recover. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so. Let me go to my first slide. Let's just take a look at what we're looking at here. And let's get this cursor. Now, here, got this from Zero Hedge just last month, January 2025. Worst pending home sales in all of history. It's even worse than we go back all the way back here to 2010. And you can see what was going on here, how pending homes were sales. But right here, we've been coming along here and pending, and it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So pending home sales hit an all-time historic low. Even worse. So I'm telling you, this is going to be worse than what we saw in a great financial crisis. It's going to be like the great financial crisis on steroids. Now, it's going to breed plenty of opportunity if you're ready. You know, Warren Buffett is sitting in cash because he's ready. If you're not in cash and you're up to your eyeballs in debt, you are going to be a casualty and not a winner. Let me go to my next slide. Let's just talk about what we have here, and maybe you'll understand what we're talking about. Now, why is pending home sales going bad? Because we have the worst affordability in decades. Now, decades takes you right back here. You see this here? This is 2007. This is where we had the great bubble, and things got worse and worse, more expensive. Rates were going up a little bit, getting harder and harder to afford property. People still wanted them, but all of a sudden, now we're not getting momentum. We're not getting a lot of sales, and prices have not changed yet. The memo isn't out that the economy is going to roll over and the markets are going to roll over. And we get down here to 2007. Very, very similar to where we are now. It's worse now, but very, very close to what it was before. I lived through this in Phoenix, the worst place in the United States to be in the real estate business. Phoenix, Arizona, we wore the crown as being the worst place to be for real estate. Not this time. That's going to be Florida and Texas and several, maybe Tennessee and South Carolina, some other places, but certainly Florida and Texas. Great markets. They're just ahead of themselves. Let me get back to this and let's just take a look at this, and you can see what I'm talking about here. And let me go to my next slide. Now, why is that? What's the affordability? Because prices have escalated so terribly that they're all the way up to here. So in order to, we've got a double whammy. Not only are prices high, just like in 2007, but they're also interest rates have gone up. So and wages have not. This is the mantra. We haven't had wages go up all that much, but prices and costs certainly have. And you can see the price of homes have gone up. And now on a national basis, it's $124,000 nationally for the median home. So the median household in the United States makes $79,000, and you need $124,000 to afford the median home. So you can see the disconnect. This is historic, by the way. This comes from John Rubino, and he's posting it by the Kabisi letters. Great people to know. John Rubino has done interviews. He's been kind of a great intellect, and he sent this out. And of course, this is the root cause of why we are having problems in the economy. Is that there's certainly demand. People want to buy these houses. They just can't afford to do that. They're too expensive, and it always resolves. Now, it resolved brutally in 2007, and it is going to resolve brutally here. Did you hear that? It is going to be brutal. People are going to be surprised, like, oh, who would have thought? Well, everyone's telling you. You can see this. It's just like a slow-moving train wreck. We're in a recession. And again, as we get going, you remember how recessions start very slowly, then all of a sudden they just blow up, and we're going to be coming to that. And I think you have no more than about 6 months, and we are going to be in a full-blown recession. Europe already is just a basket case. You know that. Let me go to this, and let's just talk about this, another one. Let me go to my next slide. Now, what else is going on? What else could be going wrong? So not only do people want to buy the properties, and they really have to go for it. They have to do everything they possibly can. And that the Biden administration allowed people to go beyond their comfort zones at 43% loan to value or income to debt ratios under FHAs, and not just one or two or a few of them. Like 63% of all FHAs written were way over where they should have been. And it's going to come back to haunt us. I'm hearing that there's over 1 million FHA loans that are in delinquent right now. This is going to come back to us. And here's what's going on, is that even if you want to buy it or you want to refinance or purchase a property, you have almost a 42% rejection rate. A rejection rate of almost 42%. Not only is this difficult on the title companies and the lenders, because look at 42% of your business, you write this all about and you can't get it put together. This is very, very bad if you're a lender, but this is telling you the credit availability of the American consumer. Now, I want you to look real careful at this. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is Phoenix. This is coming from John Wake. He's done an absolutely terrific job. Now, it looks a little bit, there's a lot of data on this slide. I want you to really, really look at this in a really close fashion. I'm going to go into this, but this tells me where we are. Now, remember, my models tell us where we are and what to expect next. They don't tell me why, they tell me what. So I'm going to tell you, this green line was the median price in Phoenix during the great financial crisis right here. And you can see how the prices were kind of stabilizing here. And when we got around to 2007, they were still fairly stable. They were really fairly stable. Not many sales going on, but the prices hadn't stopped. And then all of a sudden, we get right here to the end of 2007, first part of 2008, and it craters. It just comes down like a rock. And everybody's trying to get out all at once. And all the fun that we had on this side when it was going up 3% a month, everybody was geniuses, and they're making all kinds of money, spending like crazy. They're having cocktail parties, telling each other how many houses that you bought. And then it comes here and it just kind of stabilizes. Well, all that fun over here is all this misery over here. And of course, it's going to come down further than what you think. You see where it came here? It was below where it started. That's what happens. And it came down like a rock. This is the waterfall effect. This is what I see on my charts right now. And it stayed that way for a number of years. So the rule is, if there is a rule of this, is that you typically have 14 years up and 4 years down. Now we're in that 4 years down, and they all don't go straight down. It's a couple years kind of adjustment. We're already had those couple of years. My charts tell me the next phase is the waterfall phase. That is not going to be fun. It is not going to be fun. It's going to be scary. You're going to see lots of banks, see some banks go bad. You're going to see lots of foreclosures and short sales. You're going to see people losing their houses. You're going to see them losing their cars. $1,000, $1,400 for a car payment is crazy. Already you can see that they're delinquent and you're having all kinds of repos. That's coming to the housing industry. It's in there now in commercial. It's coming to housing. And my charts say it's coming soon. Not going to be fun. Now, if you're like Warren Buffett and you've got money on the side, you got your credit, you got your cash, and you got your income ready to make some new loans, we are going to make an absolute fortune. So if you've been left behind, if you think you missed that run up, if you think I've been wanting to do this all my life, but I just been a little concerned, I'm in my 50s or my 60s, and I need to start thinking about retiring, getting some income into my portfolio, here is your opportunity staring you right in the face, and you are going to be scared to death. You're not going to want to pull the trigger. You're going to say, no, I'm going to wait. It's not going to happen. It's a terrible time to buy. Yes, absolutely. Everyone's going to tell you that it's a time that you only get 3 times in your life, and it's coming to you, and you're probably going to miss it. You're going to say, oh, no, it's too scary. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to be rich that bad that I take a chance. Okay, don't take the chance. I'm just telling you that my clients and we're going to make a lot of dough. Let me go to my next slide here. Let's just talk about this. Now, I've shown you this a million times. Right at the moment, we are focused in a commercial space. You're seeing big projects just falling by the wayside. You're seeing lenders take 40 to 80 to 90% losses on these things. And my data shows me we're here. We have rolled over. We're coming down this side, and we are eventually going to be lower than where we started. You see that? Just like in the great financial crisis. Now, does that mean that here in Phoenix we have to? Probably not. So we are not going to be immune, of course. Phoenix has so much business coming in the next couple of years. I mean, we have chip manufacturers being built here like crazy. We have all kinds of high tech that is under construction right now. So it's not like it's not like something that's going to happen. It's underway right now, and we have 2 years before that happens. We're going to suffer for those 2 years. Once we get through that, of course, it's going to be we're going to be one of the greatest places in the world to be doing business, and that's coming. Keep in mind again, we're Arizona. Our tax structures are just absolutely outstanding. We reduced our income tax from 4.5 to 2.5. So, or 4.6 to 2.5, 2.1% we took off. And our real estate taxes are very, very nominal. So it's a great place to do business. And we will be discovered. This is going to be great for us, but we're not going to be immune. We're going to see our prices are going to come down too. We're seeing that already. We're seeing it on the affordable homes area, which is where most of my portfolios, our rentals are just doing really, really well. They're packed. I'm full 100%. So we're doing really, really well. We're getting a great cash flow. We're getting ready to expand our portfolio very, 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 very soon. The upper end here, remember, this is home to Scottsdale and Carefree with Scottsdale, Arizona, with their golf courses and their gated communities. They're doing extremely well. And that's fear. Get me? That's fear. People are leaving some really bad areas, and they're coming here to Scottsdale where things are absolutely outstanding. And, when a home comes up for sale at Scottsdale, it sells. and those people are paying cash, so you can buy a $2 million home. And again, $2 million home in Scottsdale is an $8 million home in California. So when people come here, they think, oh my gosh, what a deal that is. So it's good for us. But the low end here in Maricopa County, and where Phoenix is at, still struggling. We have the same issues as everywhere else, is affordability. People who, we have about 87,000 is the median household income, and we need about 135,000 to qualify for the median home. So obviously, there's a big disconnect. Easier to rent, which makes our portfolio great. We're renting like crazy. But that tells us we're way overbuilt. Now, we've gone through other videos. You're welcome to take a look at it. By the way, if you like my videos, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. YouTube loves that stuff. They just think this is great stuff. They love subscriptions, and their algorithms love all that. Same with comments. Love to hear what you're thinking of. But we think that we probably are going to suffer again. I think, let me go back to this so we can open this up a little bit and you can see what I'm talking about here. I think we're coming back down here, Q2 of 2020, where it all started. I think we may go down to 2019 prices. So that'd be a pretty big drop. We've used Charles Hugh Smith. We've used his models that show a really big retracement. I think we're due for a really, really big retracement. Now, this is what happened in 2007. Now you can see this. This is October 2007. Again, this is coming from John Rubino. Sent this out. It's just a great one. It's coming out of Federal Reserve Electronic Data. By the way, John Rubino and I have done some videos together. He's an absolutely great thought leader. If you're not reading him or watching his interviews, he's absolutely outstanding. I would say you can start with his free newsletter, and he'll give you free samples. You can get his free newsletter, and then you can graduate to what. He's not very expensive. It's and his ideas are wonderful. And we sent this out this morning. We've also used this a few times, but it illustrates October 27 is where it plateaued, and it wasn't beyond the plateau where we are now when this started coming down. And once it started, how do you know what the value is? Well, it's by the last couple sold. And if the last couple sold are selling below where they sold before, just like when they're coming up on this side, it's the same process, and it is coming down. And it comes down very, very fast. And it really bottomed here, but it took a long time to resolve itself. So top to bottom, about 4 years. So and you can see this. So this is what I think is going to happen. I think we are going to waterfall. I think it's going to happen all across the country. I don't think you want to buy everywhere in the United States where this is going to happen, but there are many, many good locations. Florida, Texas, I think are great long-term holds. But I think this is coming down, and it's going to come down. I think it's going to come down below 2020 prices. I think that is where this is going to go. This is where you make a fortune. If you're interested in making a fortune, let me know. Call me. We'll get together. You're going to know within like 15 minutes if I'm your guy and you're my guy. We want to make business. We have a relationship business. Most of my clients and investors, we've been together for years and years and years. I'm on second generations with them. So this is your opportunity. We have a whole program, soup to nuts. So you're the investor. We'll help you with make the decisions on buying them. We have property managers here. They'll send you a check your very first month. So this is how you get income. Now the goal, I'm going to tell you, most of our investors are getting $15,000 to $25,000 a month sent to them, and we are full. We are just literally full. Now we turn pieces up, we turn them over right away. But most of our portfolio right at the moment we're 100%. So we anticipate doing this right through the recession because everyone needs a place to live, and I think that we're going to be fine. Now, if you want to get hold of me, let me go to my next slide here, and you can talk to me here. I am licensed at West USA Realty. They are a enormously big property. $6-7 billion. They hold my license. They do our back office. We're a research firm and, of course, a marketing firm and a representation. So we love your business. If you have questions, please give me a call. If you want to set in a private appointment, you've got the switchboard for our corporate office, and more than happy to talk to you. Time is not your friend, though. I'm going to tell you, if you have properties that you need to sell, you should have sold them last year or the year before then. But don't wait. They're not going to get healed. They're not going to get better. This is the last hurrah. It is down from here. So I'm looking for a waterfall within the next 6 months. I think it's going to just collapse, and we're going to have lots and lots of opportunity. We are going to buy these foreclosures. We are going to buy these short sales. We are going to buy all kinds of properties, and we are going to make a fortune. Call me. Let's get together. Let's change your life. My best to you. Bye-bye.